Alright, today we have an interesting tutorial. We'll be doing sentiment analysis end to end. We'll be implementing this architecture diagram end to end. The only thing you need today is the Visual Studio software, which you need to install. We'll be deploying one C#.NET app to analyze the sentiments. We'll be using Azure Language Service here, as you can see. So let me give you a brief introduction. What is Azure Language Service? So Azure Language Service is kind of a cloud-based solution which is mainly used composed of like natural language processing NLP capabilities, which is offered by Microsoft. So we can use Azure Language Service, which also leverages like the machine learning models to analyze and derive insights from text. So today in the hands-on, I'll be writing some kind of text, and the sentiment analysis will be done, whether it's positive, negative, neutral, those kind of things, right? So let's begin with the hands-on. Let's dive into the Azure portal now. All right, I'm in the Azure portal here. So the very first thing which we need to do now is to search for language service. So language service, we can search in the search bar here, type language here. If we see, this is the language icon. Here we have the create language button. Let's go ahead by clicking create language. Now in the additional features, we'll be keeping a default. We have the default features here. We don't need custom features for this tutorial. Let's click on continue to create your resource. Now let's give the values. Resource group is where my language service will reside. I'll select the resource group created. Region is the geographical location where my language service will reside. Like this is a physical location in the server. Next, let's name our language service. Now let's select the pricing tier. I'll be using S, 1K calls per minute. Let's go down. I'll check the responsible AI notice, review and create. Let's click on the final button, that is the create button. Our resource is deploying now. Let's wait for a while till the deployment gets completed. Alright, our resource is now ready. Let's go to resource here, and in the resource group we can find our language service. Here we go, Cloud Guru Amit Sentiment. This is our Azure Language Service. Let's go ahead by going here, and here the very first thing, we need to create environment variables. We need to go to the keys and endpoints. Let me explain you. All right, now we got keys and endpoints. So if I read the code here, it got to set the environment variables. So these are the environment variables which we need to set in the command prompt in Windows, right? This tutorial is specifically meant for Windows. I'm not sure if it works for Mac OS or the other operating systems, right? So if we look here, why do we need this environment variables? Because our application must be authenticated to send API request, right? So let's go ahead by setting this. I'll copy this in a notepad. I'll paste here in the notepad. Now let's go to the Azure portal. I'll copy one of the keys here. Let's paste the value by replacing this key here, Control V. And next, let's set the endpoint. Let's input the endpoint, which is nothing but this one. Let's copy this and let's put the endpoint value here. Once done, we are now ready to fire these commands in the command prompt in Windows. So how do we open command prompt? We can type Windows R, which is the shortcut key, or go to run, like Windows run. I'll use the shortcut key, that is Windows and R. So here, after opening the run, we can in this we write CMD. I'll click OK. So here now let me quickly copy paste this environment variables, because we need to set it in order to proceed with the tutorial. I'll paste it, Control V. Let me quickly do it, copy paste. So it says success, specified value was specified. So we have set one of the environment variables, let's go ahead by setting another one, that is the endpoint one. Let's quickly do it. Let's hit enter. So our endpoint is also now up and running. So now we are ready with the setting environment variables. Now we can go to the and configure the code in Visual Studio. All right, so I have opened a Visual Studio here. So here we need to, please note this is Visual Studio, not Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code won't have these things, right? Please make sure to install the Visual Studio, right? Let's go ahead by clicking on the new project. Next we need to select the console app, which is this one, first one, C#, because we are building C#.net app. Let's select it and go ahead by clicking next. We need to give one a name. I can write give any name. So looks good. I've given one name. I'll leave everything as default. I've just given the project name, and solution name is also by default given by the system. It's grayed out or something. Let's not worry. Let's go to next. I'll leave everything as default. We don't need continuous support and all these advanced things. Let's click on create. So it's creating the project in Visual Studio. All right, here we go. So first thing, if you're new to Visual Studio, you need to first find it out where a Solution Explorer is present, right? This is our CS means C# programming extension file, right? This is a C# code where we write C# code or .NET code. Here, if you see on the right hand side, we have the Solution Explorer. On my Cloud Guru Amit sentiment here, I'll just right click here and I'll select the manage NuGet packages. Let's right click click it here. Next I'll go to the browse, which is this tab. Then I need to search for Azure AI Text Analytics, which will be kind of verified. Like if I type this Azure AI Text, we can see the blue tick mark. It's a verified one. All right, please make sure to select the exact Azure AI Text Analytics, what is shown in the screen. It has tons of millions of downloads as well. Next, after selecting it, I'll click on the install button. Now we need to select I accept. Now once done, we'll go to the program.cs, this file. Please make sure to open this and let's delete everything. I'll delete everything and I have the code on my computer. Let's quickly copy paste the entire code. I have copied this. Let's please make sure we are pasting it program.cs, right? Since this entire course is about no coding, that's why I'm trying to make everything simple so that even a non-technical person can understand what I am doing. So if I see the code, the only thing you need to worry about is this one. If you're completely unaware of C#.net, that is not a problem. You don't need to understand everything. I'm just making sure that whatever value if you put here, whatever sentiment you want to analyze the sentence, please put you can put here, right? We'll be doing the testing part for different sentences as well. Please wait for a while. And one thing to note before clicking the run button, please make sure that your antivirus like it's whitelisted for the C#.net. Otherwise it might think some malicious code here or something is getting executed, right? So if we see the code, currently we don't have any kind of errors. We have warnings we can ignore, not a problem. Our code, please make sure code doesn't have error, otherwise this won't run. So for now it looks good. All right, and we are ready to run. Let's analyze the sentiment for this sentence. That is, food services were awesome at the hotel, but staff weren't helpful. This is a kind of mixed sentence. Let's see what sentiment analysis does. Let's hit the play button here, right? Let's click here. All right, we can see the sentiment. This is our text. Food services weren't awesome at the hotel, but staff weren't helpful. So it has given positive sentiment as 0.02 because it's awesome, it says. And negative 0.97. Here's a breakdown of it. Food services, it gives positive because I have written good thing. Food services are awesome. So sentiment analysis is detected correctly. Assessment is awesome. Sentiment is positive. Then target is staff. Here I've written another sentence, but staff weren't helpful. So staff sentiment is negative, so I've given negative feedback for the staff, that's why it's given negative. So this looks good. So here is the overall sentiment, positive score, what is negative score, and what is neutral. So AI has found some neutral statement as well here. And one thing to note, if you want to input multiple sentences, what we will do now, please make sure to press any key to execute. Otherwise this program will continue running in the backend and you'll face errors, right? So I'll type any key in the keyboard. See, it will say press any key to close this window. I'll just press any kind of key to close this window, and this is done. Now let's input another sentiment what I have on my text on my file. I'll copy this text. I love to eat noodles. Let's delete the only text. Let's paste this. I'll again run the we can save the code, doesn't matter. Let's try to click the play button. So here we go with the noodles part. I love to eat noodles. It has given positive. It's 100% positive. That's why the rating is 1.00. That is negative is 0, neutral is 0. This is a positive statement, right? I love to eat noodles. So here we go with assessment is love. The sentiment is positive. So this looks good. This is a complete positive statement. Sentiment analysis is done correctly. Now let's again press any key and again any key to close. Let's try to test another sentiment. You can type, you can use your own sentences as well. I have for the demo, I just want to show some things that its sentiment analysis is done correctly by Azure Language Service. Now let's hit the play button again, and here we go. It says, I don't like traveling to unknown places. Sentiment is negative, and here we go. Now why it is negative here, right? 0.96 is negative. So this looks good. We'll press any key to again exit. So this is the way. Please make sure to press any key, otherwise the program will keep on running and you won't be able to do test multiple sentences what I've done now. So this is a quick tip while running this program. So now let's try to understand the code. If you're a technical person or if you want to just learn the code or why it's happening out of curiosity, let me explain. So here we see namespaces and libraries. So Azure, using Azure, this Azure if you see is a namespace here, right? So this means that Azure is a base namespace for Azure SDK, that is software development kit. Now here we go with we have system here, using system. So system is another base namespace for .NET classes, and here we have used Azure AI Text Analytics, which is a namespace for text analytics client library. We have another thing using system collections generic, which is a namespace for collection type like list. And if I read this line, that is API key and endpoint 1. So these are the environment variables. Remember, in the notepad we have previously configured. So these are retrieved from the environment variable. See, language key, it will match from here, and language endpoint, it will match from here. So these are retrieved from the environment variables. So these are the API keys and the endpoint URL for Azure Text Analytics resource. Let's close this. So you have understood this part and this part carefully. Now here, let's understand Azure Key Credential. Azure Key Credentials creates a credential object using the API key. Next we have the URI endpoint. So this represents the endpoint URL for Azure Text Analytics resource. And if I go down, we have the main function. So a main function is the first function which executes. So it calls all the functions. So here we can see the analyze sentiment with opinion mining. So if I go up, it contains our logic basically. If I read here, this is the function name, right? So this functions sentiment, analyze sentiment with opinion mining function or method performs sentiment analysis on a list of documents. In our case, we have just one single sentence, right? And our single sentence what we have analyzed is like I don't like traveling to unknown places for now. This is the statement where it performs the sentiment analysis. So that's what it goes for this beginner entry level sentiment analysis to begin with. I'll quickly go through the architecture diagram to refresh you. So we have successfully deployed Azure Language Service, where we have used Visual Studio, configured environment variables using command prompt, then deployed .NET app, which connects to our language service, right? So we have inputted sentences, tested couple of sentences to analyze sentiments like positive, negative, neutral. And here is how we analyze sentiments on a single line, like one page code easily. So I hope you found this tutorial helpful for generative AI sentiment analysis. Let's meet in our next lecture.